Hi, I'm Joyce, the Energy Lady, and I'm going to talk a little bit about today about who are you. And I guess the reason for that is because I've had a lot of questions about that. I recently even had a young girl whose mom brought her in who was confused about who she was and questioning, who am I? And I hear that from adults. I hear that from teenagers. I hear that from older people. Because we play a lot of different roles in life, we kind of forget who we are. Or if people have told you enough times in your life who you are, then you're going to believe them, as opposed to what I call believing your true self. I believe we each have a divine light within us and a true divine self within us that knows who we are, that expresses who we truly are. But that gets buried and that gets shoved whenever somebody's been through trauma or whenever they have been through some form of abuse that tried to convince them of something otherwise. So looking for who you are, some of your self-discovery tips are, number one, where are your roots? Look at where do you plant your roots? Where do you say, not just where you live, not where you grew up, but what do you say, like, this is my foundation, okay? I actually am a Christian, so I actually have my foundation in God and Christ. It can be, your foundation can be in the earth. The earth is beautiful, and there are many beautiful things in the earth to be grounded in. Your foundation can be in family. I did work with a client who had no belief in any higher power whatsoever, but he really believed in family and his children and his wife. That was his foundation, and he knew that. So if you think about a tree and the roots that are planted in a tree, if you were to see yourself as a tree, where are those roots? Where are you grounded? That's the beginning of discovering who you are, because you're acknowledging that. I remember in the movie, what was that called, with the, I can't remember. Anyway, it was a movie about traditions and the Jewish family and their traditions. Fiddler on the Roof, there it is. And I remember him saying, we base ourselves on our traditions. And for them, that was their roots. That was where they based who they were. Now, can those things change? Yes, absolutely. So looking at where you firmly stand on something is where your roots are. So, and those are flexible too, but you always need to know where that is. And then I want you to just look at yourself in the mirror and say, who am I? What is it that drives me? What is it that encourages me? I talked to someone recently who, I think they're a mom of teenagers, and later in their years, they decided to go back to college and get a degree. And that was something they felt their whole lives was part of them, and they never did it until that moment in time when all of a sudden it said, this is it, this is the time. And there are people who are in professions where it does not inspire them. So they look for other places and ways to be inspired. So that if they choose to stay in that profession that's not inspiring, they find other ways to express themselves. Because that's where you find out who you are, is through your self-expression and through your ability to listen to your true divine self, what it wants you to do, and respond with a yes and do it. So a couple little tips, find out where your roots are, where your foundation is, if you're starting to question who you are. And then look for those creative things that are coming up for you. And if it's not through your career, then do it. Do it in another way, in another avenue, and see what shows up for you. So that's it for the day. Have a really great day.